I'm Dan Galushan. Welcome to another edition of Shootin' Plink. Today we've got the GSG16 back with us, and this one happens to be the 1610 because it has a 10-round magazine. And it's put out by German Sport Guns and distributed by American Tactical out of South Carolina. Now this gun, we've already had it. This is going to be part 2, and I told you at that time we're going to see how it performs with other sorts of ammunition as far as velocities and also brands. We tried the CCI standard, which was a 1070 velocity, and it did great, and the company says to use some that's over 1200. Well, that 1070 cycled through here, but again it was a CCI, so it might make a difference. 40 grain bullet with it, by the way. We're going to be trying a variety, and I've got some Winchester, Browning, Aguila, I think some more CCI, not sure. We are going to use the 1070 again, and I'll tell you why. I've got a 22 round magazine, and we're going to do what I call a mixture. I'm going to just mix them up and load the different velocities all together, and we're going to see how it cycles by changing back and forth between velocities. That's a test I've done before with guns, and a lot of them, they passed, and a few failed. This one, I don't know, I got a feeling this one may just pass. But first we're going to be firing about 5 rounds each of the others that I've got individually. Why would I do it individually? Well, because I want to see how it performs with that certain type of ammo and velocity. And we're going to be shooting at the target. It's up there, you can see it. It's one of those bullseye gongs. And we're back here, oh I don't know, about 15 yards or so. And we're going to be firing from here. I'm going to load it up with the different ones, and then that mixture one that I'm going to do, I think we're going to take that over to the 50-yard range. I've already got a gong set up over there on the 50, and well, instead of talking, let's start shooting. Yeah, I got you zoomed in on the target. We're going to fire some Browning first, and then the M22, which is Winchester. And I had to put a different set of ear protection on, and I'll show you why in just a little bit. I think you've probably seen it in part 1, but it's getting to be more annoying for some reason. I don't know why this gun's like this, but it is, and I'll show you that, I said, in a bit. So you're zoomed in on the target. Let's take some rounds at these. These are all 1255 velocity, so they should work pretty good. Take safety off. Okay, all the Browning and the Winchester fired great. No problem at all. I think I was hitting that center. I really can't see it that well through this sight. I don't know why, but I can't. So let's load it up with some Aguila and see how that works. We got this one loaded up with some Aguila Super Extra, and that's about 1260. A little bit more velocity, and that ought to really work well. So let's take safety off, and then we'll do some shooting. Okay, it did. Worked pretty good. So that cycled well, and what we're going to do, just for the heck of it, is I don't know how this gun will do. Some work well with it, some of them don't. It's a CCI Quiet Semi-Auto. Why it works, I don't know. It's only 800 and some velocity, but it does work with some semi-automatics. May not with this one. We're going to find out. I've loaded 6 rounds of this. May not even go through 2 because we don't know how it's going to cycle. As I said, some do, some don't. I've had very good luck with pistols, but it just doesn't seem like these rifles do all that well. So let's see what it'll do. It has a 45 grain bullet. Now that's different than the others too. It's got a much lower velocity. It's got a 45 grain bullet. The others all had 40. So we'll see what this thing does. Well, by golly, it cycled that. And that's only 800 and some feet per second. That is not a high velocity ammo. And this gun did it. But CCI makes that for semi-autos. So we tested it and it worked really well. We're not going to put that in the mix though. When we mix that, we're going to put all the others in there. We are going to drop it to the 1070. And before we go over the 50-yard range though, I'm going to show you what I mean about this headset. Now you can see what I've done. I went to these. The reason being is because this, for some reason, you have to get down really low. You can see where the sights are. Now if I had the my Fiace red dot, if I had that up there, that might make a difference. And it does have a rail. I mean, this thing's got rails all over the place. But if I had that, it would be setting up higher. But you can't just shoot it like this. It's not high enough. So you got to get your head down here like this to see that sight. And because of that, and wearing your safety glasses, you got to reposition them just right. Otherwise, what you're doing is you're getting a ghosting off at the edge of this, and it will actually block your sight where you got to reposition it. You need glasses that you have glass clear around here to actually shoot this good. But once you do it right, you can, it's like I said, you just got to reposition your eye and everything with your glasses. That's why, hopefully I was hitting that center flap. I don't know how many times I actually did. You did, because you were watching it close. I could hear it somewhat, but I knew where I was shooting about and just hoping that it hit, because I think this gun's pretty much on. But let's load up that mixture, take her over the 50-yard range, and see what it does on that gong up above. Yeah, I think you can see that target way up there. That's at 50 yards. That's what we're going to be shooting at. I'm going to get you zoomed in so you can see what's going on up there. Okay, there you are, zoomed in, and this is really a hodgepodge. I couldn't tell you what order they're in. They're 2x2s. I mean, they're all mixed up. Copperheads, 40 grain bullets, all of them. There's copper, there's hollow points, there's just straight lead round nose, and like I said, velocities of 1255, 1260, and 1070. So we'll rack the first one in and we'll see what happens. That's it, 22 rounds, and I think you could actually hear the difference on when the 1070s were hitting. There was definitely a lighter clink, and a few of them I think missed there, the way it sounded to me, but that's 50 yards, and where it was hitting on a target, I don't know. I'm sure you might, because you were seeing it much closer. So anyway, let's get back over to our 25-yard range and we'll wrap things up. Get these off. They re-plug in ears. These are Henry ones, by the way. Don't know if you can see that or not. Yeah, see, they're Henrys. They work pretty good. Anyhow, I'm kind of impressed with this thing because of the fact, the way it has cycled, get these off too. The way it has cycled the ammo has been great. We didn't have one hiccup the whole time. And when it cycled that semi-quiet auto stuff, that was definitely impressive, because as I said, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is the first, maybe the 1022, the Ruger 1022 did it, but I think as far as this style, This is the first one that cycled, that Quiet ammo. And so yeah, I'm pretty impressed with that. All the different ones, those are the ammunitions that I mainly use. It's all good ammo, and it really worked great in this. And I have nothing bad to say on that. The only problem I've got is, like I said, I wish those sights were a little higher, but that's why I wanted to shoot it this way, because that's how they come. And I told you all about the sights before, so watch the part 1, because that is where I also did the sighting in on this and showed you what I did is flipping this and how I adjusted it and all that sort of junk. And this right here, as I said, using those sights, but that would be any style that you'd have. You got to really get down, and if I could get down like this, I'd be perfect. And if I didn't have to wear safety glasses of any sort, I'd be okay, because that is what's blocking us. When I look through like this, it's as clear as a bell, no problem. But when you got those glasses, they come over the edge and they just blur a little bit. And as I said, the ear protection, so straight ear plugs, those would be the best, but those work pretty good, so I was able to avoid that. So again, there's nothing there that you can't switch in order to make it so that you can use that way. The only thing that you've got is your eye protection, because you need to be wearing some sort of eye protection. And with that, you might have a blurring unless you push your glasses over like I did. And and another thing you could do, instead of using this real small peep like I'm using, but I like that, that's why I did it, you can use the Ghost, where you take that out, flip it over, and you got the Ghost. Then you got a big opening. You can see this, and a Ghost sight, of course, is good for close shooting. If you've got a target that you got to pull up on in a hurry like that and shoot close, especially like in your competition where you're speed shooting, you might want to go to the Ghost. But otherwise, this GSG16, I really like this gun. It's seems well made. It's definitely a good shooter, and we're going to be using this in another one. That's one reason I did not use this ammunition, and I'll mention it right now, because I already told you about this upcoming video. And that is where we're going to be testing out the CCI Tactical AR ammo that's made for these type of guns. We're going to have a couple of the guns with us, and we're going to shoot that against a federal ammo that has the same velocity and everything else that I think will probably match up with it pretty well. And as I said, this gun will be used, so make sure you watch for that. It's almost going to be like a third part on this one. So until next time, shoot safe and have a great day of plinking.